bonus episode. Bam, 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 bam. Oh, I could do that better. Bonus episode.
Good cutting enhances the quality of good meat. In his way, the meat cutter is an artist. Poor cutting results in an inferior piece of meat, regardless of quality.
What up, meatheads? This is Travis, American Butcher. And this is the Meat Block app. Ugh. God. Ugh. Messed up. Tripped over that tongue and that enthusiasm that I knew. I had a weak streak going on. I actually accidentally recorded another episode that's coming out after this one and said that I did it 2 weeks in a row. But since this one's coming out before, since it's a bonus episode, now I only have 1 week without stumbling over the intro. But I already played the Views and Swellas before, so I don't know if this is technically the intro or not. But regardless, this is Travis, American Butcher, and this is the Meat Block Podcast. And this episode is a bonus episode, and we're going to be talking about the WBC that was just announced in 2020 in beautiful Sacramento, California, a town I hold close and dear to my heart. When I was in summer camp, I kissed this girl, and she was from Elk Grove, and that's Sacramento adjacent. My grandparents lived in Cameron Park, El Dorado Hills area. I still have 2 cousins who live up there. My parents recently just moved from Sacramento. Would have been convenient if they would have stayed till 2020. So I had a place to crash during the World Butchers Challenge. So if you don't know, let me break it down to you because it might be hard to follow. It's a too short quote. That the World Butchers Challenge, or WBC, is a competition that was started in 2011, and it was a competition between New Zealand and Australia, just a friendly competition to see who had the best cutters and could put on the best display of added value product. This competition, this first one, was held in New Zealand, and even though it was held there, Team Australia ended up taking home the title. 2011, just 2 teams, such a modest beginning, like I imagine the first Comic-Cons were. In 2013, they decided to get a little freaky and invite a third, and that's when the United Kingdom came in, and it was the Tri-Nations Butchers Challenge. And I remember around like 2014 watching these videos on YouTube and being like, man, I wish America was in something like that. That's pretty cool. But that second year, Team New Zealand took the trophy back home, knocked Australia out, or I don't know if they knocked them out, but they won, and they got their redemption. Let's do a little time jump to 2016. The Gold Coast, Australia, France is now in the competition. 2018. Yes, the year we are in right now. Belfast, Ireland hosted the World Butchers Challenge when it was such a modest event a few years ago. Now there's 12 countries with teams representing their nations. All right, so you're asking yourself, what is the WBC? What is the World Butcher Challenge? And this is quoting, which is something I never do. I never read on this show because it's super painful. The concept of the World Butchers Challenge is to develop an environment where butchers strive to exceed current industry practices in their area of general workmanship, meat cutting, displays, and the creative use of beef, lamb, and pork. Actually, beef, lamb, pork, and chicken products. Through this competition, a global community has been committed with long life friendships formed, business opportunities unlocked, and the overall trade benefiting from an injection of creativity and innovation. Whew, that was difficult, and thank you for bearing with me. Man, it felt like I was in the first grade all over again, and you're playing that game Popcorn, where you read a line and then you say popcorn and then you call someone else's name. The whole point of the game is to embarrass the kid who doesn't know how to read, and that kid was me. It was awful. I'm going to cry now. The competition itself contains over 3 hours and 15 minutes, provided to each team is given a side of beef, one side of pork, one whole lamb, and 5 chickens, where they must transform them into displays of added value product. Now, 3 hours and 15 minutes to break down a half beef, half pork, and a lamb, and 5 chickens it's a task unto itself. A good butcher certainly could do it. But what a team can do and what these 6 individuals can do, they're not just breaking it down and making it into just, your rump roast, your spatchcock chicken, your, other cut of meat that is just not coming to me right now. They're transforming it into a beautiful piece of art. And this is the one time where I do think that the word art transcends into the culinary world. Where it's not like abstract. It's not like a Jackson Pollock art. It is meticulous and beautiful. Almost architectural like in its point, where you see a building that is still beautiful, but you know that a lot of thought and a lot of design went into it, like the Sydney Opera House. And that's where these teams need to think and be creative. And these people are extremely talented and wonderful butchers. That they wouldn't be at this level. And so it's more than cutting at a fast rate. It's more than presenting. You're getting judged on your sanitation, what your station looks like at the end when your display is up. That's part of that 3 hours and 15 minutes. I know a lot of butchers who could certainly cut a lot in 3 hours and 15 minutes, but they would walk away and there'd be meat, yes, somewhat displayed, looking nice, but their yields on their bones may not be good. They may have excess waste in their inedible bucket, and their station certainly wouldn't be wiped down and gone through a full sanitation cycle as if it was pre-op ready. So not only is there the best team, who wins, but there's additional prizes and awards given out to best pork product, best lamb product, best beef product, best poultry product, best beef sausage, best pork sausage, best gourmet sausage. So just imagine if you are a sausage maker and you're part of this competition and you make a beautiful pork sausage and it wins best sausage in the World Butchers Challenge. At that moment, you have the best the best sausage in the world. Arguably, someone is like, well, I didn't get to compete and I make pretty good sausage. Yeah, well, you need to step up your game and get up to this level. Now, in the build-up to the last WBC, I had the great opportunity to interview Rob Slater twice from Beef Lamb New Zealand and one of the co-founders of the World Butchers Challenge, back when it was only 2 teams, a friendly competition between 2 neighbor nations. So the reason I'm doing this show is because they were building up the announcement to the World Butchers Challenge. And there were 3 cities that had their name in the hat, or 3 countries. There was France, Brazil, and America. I think it was Paris and San Paul and Sacramento. And just like any multi-nation event, looking for a host country, they do bids. And each place makes a great argument for why, they should host the Olympics or why they should host the World Cup or why they should host the World Butchers Challenge. And yes, I put all three of those on the same level. So about 2 weeks ago, it was announced that Sacramento was going to win the bid, or won the bid, for the World Butchers Challenge. And this is my home backyard, my home state of California. I have a lot of family ties there. And I'm super excited that this competition gets to come to my own country. It's a great honor, and I hope that everyone listening here goes there. I'll be there hanging out, talking, and it's going to be a great opportunity to meet fellow butchers and represent America. The level of excitement that I have that this is happening in my home state and in my home country is undescribable. You cut me open, I bleed red, white, and blue. My sweat comes out in the form of little American flags. I got a tattoo of the screaming eagle on my forearm, holding a butcher's knife and a cleaver. My avatar is the American Butcher. And when I found out this was a possibility, I told Danny, the American team captain, back when I was interviewing him, that I'd do everything I could to promote this competition. And that's what I'm doing right now. I also told that to Rob Slater and Ashley Hall, the WBC's head of media. I know it's 2 years away and there's not a defined date happening, but I want to build excitement. As soon as they pick a date, I want people to take screenshots of their confirmation, airline, and hotel reservations. A good friend of mine, Norm, is going to be getting a Airbnb, and he already invited me to a soiree over there. I hope people like Brock's Meats and other shops local in Sacramento have events. I look forward to meeting all these people that I've been following online or who have been following me, who have been asking me questions. It's going to be one of the first times where I get to meet people in this industry other than just pitchers. I get to talk to them and they get to realize how awkward I am. So this bonus episode is releasing a little weird. I'm releasing it at a specific time. When I usually release episodes at 3 a.m. because I'm nervous, and if I release them when I'm awake, I'll end up checking them and being like, oh, how many people are downloading them, and get all weird. And this episode is being released July 29th at, I'd say, 6:30 a.m. because my flight boarded and I should be well in the air and touching down in Sacramento around 8 a.m, get a day's rest, hope everything worked out, and I'm going to have an opportunity to try out for the American team. I am ecstatic and stoked to be given this opportunity to just even be thought of at this level. This right here is just mind-blowing. As this is being released, I'm super nervous in a plane, running through cut lists in my head, running through all this weird shit. And, you know, if I don't make it, that's certainly I'll be bummed. If I do make it, I'll, have so much excitement and anxiety that it's going to be super exciting. It's going to be a long, challenging road to the competition. But regardless if I make it or don't, I am going to support the American team. And the reason for this episode is not to announce me trying out, even though I did do that. And kind of that's what this episode was about. But regardless if I make the team or not, the American team is going to need a lot of help from you, the listener, the cutter, the butcher, the chef, the culinary student, the vet, anyone in this industry, not only for your mental support, but we're also going to need donations, and fundraising. I don't know the channels and how that's going to pan out, but I want you, the audience, to just be aware of something that's what they're going to need in the future, that they're going to need your moral support. They're going to need financial support. Some of the countries that are competing are very small and have their best butchers are very close to each other. And the way America's set up is that, it's very large for the American team to practice, they need to be together to work out the kinks, I guess, to work out the smooth over and get that idiosyncrasy and that ebbs and flows and communication. So just keep that in mind. In the future, when I know what that looks like, I will definitely be dropping it more and directing you to a site saying, hey, donate money here. Or if you have a company and you want to sponsor, email us here. But right now, just sit on that and think about how much you could give in the future. Also, wish me luck in my tryouts. And until next time, keep your knives sharp and live in the margin.
I'm an American boy, come a long way. I was born and bred in the USA. So listen up close, I got something to say. Boys, I'm buying this ring. Well, it took a little while, but we're in this fight. Ain't going home till we're done what's right. Gonna drink Camden Town dry tonight, if I had to spend my last pound. When I first got to London, it was pouring down rain. Met a little girl in a field canteen. Painted her name on the nose of my plane. 6 more missions, I'm gone. Well, I asked if I could stay, and she said that I might. Then the warden came around, and I shut out the lights. Death's raining out of the London light. We made love till dawn. Well, we tried to go later, cause marching home. Chest full of medals and a GI long. They were waiting at the station out of San Antonio. When Johnny comes marching home. Is a pretty good ship. She took her out coming across a channel last trip. Just thinking about my baby and letting her rip. Always got me through so far. Well, they could ship me all over this great big world. Never found nothing like my North End girl. Taking her home with me one day, sir. As soon as we win this war. But when Johnny comes later, comes marching home. Chest full of medals and a GI Law. They were waiting at the station out of San Antonio. When Johnny comes marching home. Johnny! Now my granddaddy sang me this song. Told me about London when the blitz was on. How he married grandma and brought her back home. A hero throughout this land. Now I'm standing on a runway in San Diego. Couple purple hearts, so move a little slow. So nobody here, maybe nobody knows about a place called Vietnam. But when Johnny comes later, comes marching home. Chest full of medals and a GI Law. They were waiting at the station out of San Antonio. When Johnny comes marching home. Now when Johnny comes later, comes marching home. Chest full of medals and a GI Law. They were waiting at the station out of San Antonio. When Johnny comes marching home.
I do stuff after the song now on the show. That's the thing.